back, everybody, to another edition of Best Bets here at Pure Picks. I'm here with my man Gerard. How you doing, boy?
I'm doing great. It was a good break. A lot of action these past few weeks. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. And before we begin, man, I just have to ask you, what's up with your boy Ryan Garcia? How was that fight, man?
God did.
That was a good fight. That was a great fight. I mean, I was gonna pick him, but the whole social media stuff scared me off. So I just ended up picking a decision on that boxing card.
Like the fight goes to decision, or like a winner?
Yeah, the fight goes to decision. I could see like a fishy rob going on in decisions that almost happened.
What were the odds for the fight goes to decision?
I got in at plus 130
Oh, okay.
for a decision, which was kind of scary because we kept seeing Haney getting dropped multiple times. I thought the ref was going to stop it, but the
Yeah, I
ref
mean,
was carrying his ass, dude.
yeah. The ref was definitely on the payroll. Because I think if you look back at I think it was round seven where yeah, that shit was just fishy, dude. They got to check the bank accounts, man, for real. But all right,
Yeah.
let's get into it, man. It's gonna be an exciting week. UFC Vegas 91. Think we have a lot of good betting opportunities here, a lot of spots to hit. It might be one of those. I know James said this. In the group chat. It might be one of these cards where you just put a unit on every underdog, because going through like the list of fights, I think you can make a case for every underdog, um, with the exception of maybe like I have Marnic, man. I hate her. I think she's terrible, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, let's get into it, man. So. Again, best bets. I think, you should go first and then me, and then we'll kind of talk about each of our best picks. So, what is your best bet this week for UFC Vegas 91?
All right. So my best bet this week, I'm trying to play it safe here. I'm not betting too much on this card. I have a two-leg parlay on Matheus Nicolau and Uros Medic. That's my two-legger there. Not underdogs.
Okay, I mean, I just said this might be one of those cards where you put a unit on every underdog, but here you are putting two of the favorites. So, these two together, it nets you a plus 101. So, before you explain why you're picking these two fighters, how many units would you go for this?
This one early in the week, I started with one unit, and I don't know if I'm going to add any more to this. I do think a lot of these underdogs are gonna have a good shot at winning. So I'm just keeping it simple and not risking too much on this card for me.
All right. One unit to win 1.01. That's pretty good. So tell me about Uros Medic. Why do you have him as your first leg?
So this matchup, Uros Medic, he's obviously the younger guy. I just really like his crisp, precise striking and stand up, and he mixes up with a lot of feints, and you can't really tell what he's gonna throw because he throws so much different looks at you. And he does have trouble in the grappling department, where that's where he usually loses by grappling and getting submitted. And Tim Means is pretty well rounded in that area, but I mean, I think he looks kind of slow approaching 40 years old, or I think he's 40 now.
Yep.
And Tim, he looks good with his good timing against guys with average to bad footwork. We saw that in his recent fight with Fialho, who wasn't moving too much. And Tim Means usually struggles with guys who fight on the outside and have really good movement, in and out type of style. Um, and he's going up against Uros Medic, who has great footwork. He mixes it up. It's hard to know where he's going to be going on the stand up, and I think Uros Medic is going to be well versed in this, knowing expecting grappling can happen in this fight, and it's not a short notice grappler who shows up in this fight. He knows Tim Means is going to be here with a well rounded game. Um, so yeah, I think Tim Means. I think he just struggles against these guys who can move well, and this fight might possibly find a Uros Medic KO win possibly in this one, where he's really dangerous in the first and second round, even able to pull off a game winner in the third round, even when he's down points.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I actually really like this pick because I think Medic is a very solid fighter. I think he just ran into a fucking killer in in his last fight, man. Like this Mirdabek Orobai, like this guy is
Yeah, or
he's hella good, man. Like when I watched that fight, I was like, holy shit, man, this guy is like a he's a legit killer. And so yeah, they put Medic against this guy last minute. He was a replacement. I forgot who. Oh yeah, it was Johnny Parsons.
yeah,
Um,
Parsons.
yeah, Medic. We had Medic as a gigalock there against Parsons, but
Yeah.
then he ran into this fucking killer and he lost. But no, I really like this leg. I think he pulls it off. So I agree with you there. Tell us about your second leg.
So the second leg, Matheus Nicolau, I have him beating Alex Perez because I just think Nicolau is the better fighter all around, even though he's coming off of a KO loss against a guy who's the top contender for the belt currently, after Urseg. So I think Nicolau, his whole game is based on countering mistakes of the other guy, and we've seen Alex Perez in past fights not even been able to get past round one before. I mean, Perez looked good against Mokaev in terms of defending everything Mokaev was throwing at him, but he was lacking any threat that would scare me in the stand up or grappling in that fight. So I'm not sure if Perez will have the danger factor for 5 rounds in this one. We I'm not even sure if he'll make it to 5 rounds. So I think Mateus Nicolau will be able to capitalize on any mistakes that Perez has in this fight. And yeah, I just think Nicolau has been so prepared trying to face a beast in Manel Cop twice, and which hasn't come to fruition. So I think Nicolau will be really prepared.
What do you think about Perez fighting just a month ago, man?
Yeah, just a month ago, I think maybe he's just feels like he's fresh. I think that last fight was kind of like just a cardio type of deal, and not too much damage was taken. So I guess he took this being in good condition and possibly. I'm not sure if. I guess we still have to see the weigh-ins and if he, the second time he's weight cutting, he's missed it in the past and canceled bouts. So yeah, I don't know. He could be prepared, but I mean, it's still iffy. It's not something I'm willing to bet on.
Yeah. And just for the pure pickers, Matheus Nicolau opened up at a one minus 180. Hold on, let me check that real quick. Minus 175. So not much action either way. It's kind of stayed in this range. A little bit of action on Nicolau, so he's minus 190 now. But yeah, let me check Uros Medic also real quick. So a lot of line movement for the Medic fight, which I completely agree with, from a minus 200 to minus 300. But Yeah, I think overall these two legs, they're solid. I could see your thought process why you're choosing that as your best bet. So, I definitely hope it hits.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now let's move on to my best bet. So I got one play here, and it's also a favorite actually. I have Caio Machado to beat Don'Tale Mayes at minus 113 outright. So I think this is really, really great value. I think Caio Machado is the better striker. He's much more nimble on his feet, and I feel like he has more grit as a fighter, which I think is an important factor. I think for Dontel Mays to win this fight, he's going to have to implement a very grappling heavy game plan. I think he'll need to definitely cage push Kyle Machado. He'll need to wrestle him, try and get him to the ground, same as what Mick Parkin was able to do against Caio. And we saw Mick Parkin uh, who, I thought was like a guy who was, just jabbing people from the outside. We saw him get tagged by Kyle Machado, and he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta start grappling. I gotta start wrestling." So props to Mick Parkin for being able to do that. But as we saw in the last fight, Kyle Machado was still able to get back up to his feet, and it was a very close decision fight. And what that last fight showed me was Kyle Machado, he he's not a zero in the grappling department. He can still grapple. He can do all of that. And it was his UFC debut. And against an opponent like Mick Parkin, who's, a very solid UFC fighter. We just saw him beat Mo Usman. So, I'm very impressed with Kyle Machado, and I think he takes this fight handedly. I'm kind of surprised it's only at a minus 113. And, again, for Dontel Mays to win, he's going to need to grapple, in my opinion. And I just feel like Machado, man, he downloaded that data from that first fight, from that Mick Parkin fight. So, he's got the first fight UFC debut jitters out. So, I feel like he's going to be prepared, and I think he'll. Now, I don't know if he'll get the knockout. He's very dangerous in the first round, Kyle Machado. And I think the odds are pretty even for goes the distance. So minus 140 for goes the distance. But, I would not play this because I can easily see a finish. But yeah, I mean, I just think Kyle Machado gets it done here. Gerard, do you have any thoughts, reservations on this best bet of mine?
Yeah, this is a heavyweight bout, so just off of that, I usually steer clear of heavyweights usually, especially if it's lower tier heavyweights. But Dontel Mays has some tape, and Caio did look good against good competition. So yeah, to me personally, it's still like a 50-50 fight to me. So I
Hmm.
guess yeah, you go with the usually I go with the underdog, but to me, Dontel Mays looks like in his fights he doesn't stick to a game plan. It seems like he could chooses to strike when he has the advantage grappling, and he chooses to grapple when he has the guy hurt or is looking good in the stand up. So yeah, I can see Kyle Machado having success in this. I'm not quite sure if either of these guys will get finished, but I mean, yeah, against Mick Parkin, he looked good, even though in a loss.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like, just watching that Nascimento fight against Dontel Mays, like, I don't know, Dontel Mays just strikes me as a guy that's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, he just looks like he's lazy and shit, like, he's not taking it too seriously, I don't know, man. But, yeah, so that's my best bet, Kyle Machado to win outright minus 113. Make sure you guys get on that. Then we have Gerard's best bet, two leg parlay, Uros Medic and Nicolau at plus 101. And so there you guys have it. That is our best bet for UFC Vegas 91. Um, Gerard, you have any last words for our pure pickers?
Our further bets throughout the week is posted in the membership purepicks.gg. But if you're not quite there yet to go for that, we do have our subscribe button and like button is completely free, and that's a good ROI as well. So let's get it.
For sure, man. Yeah, if you guys can like, comment, subscribe, we really appreciate that. I know for me, it's always fun reading all of your guys' comments. So, with that said, we will see you guys next week, and good luck this weekend for UFC Fight Night. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.